Hey bakers, John Cannell from Preppy Kitchen here, and today we're making these easy breezy roasted tomatoes that will blow your mind. They're perfect for topping pastas, pizzas. The options are nearly endless. You can also just eat them right off the pan with your fingers like I've been doing. Let's get started. My recipe calls for 2.5 pounds of Roma tomatoes, but I happen to have like a bunch of Campari tomatoes and a couple other ones that were just hanging out in the fridge. So I'm gonna put them all together. This is a waste not want not situation, and they'll work fine. I'm gonna give them a wash and then cut them in half. Over a bowl, just use your fingers and squeeze out some of that liquid and the seeds. We wanna end up, squeeze it out. We wanna end up with like a nice reservoir to hold in all the flavors we're gonna be packing in. Repeat that process until all of your tomatoes are prepped and ready. Our tomatoes are halved and the juices are all squeezed out. This is so good for cooking, so don't throw it away, promise me. It's gonna be amazing in any sauce. Let's get our baking pan and then arrange all the tomatoes cut side up. These roasted tomatoes are gonna be so delicious and you'll enjoy them cold, warmed up. You can add them to your favorite recipe or like having them in a salad, eat them alone as a side dish. Setting that aside now, and we're gonna slice up some shallots. Chop off the tops and bottoms of some shallots, and we're gonna peel the skin off so it's just that beautiful purple underneath. Any parts that you see turning papery, those can get discarded as well. They will not be delicious. As you slice them up, just place them onto your baking sheet next to the tomatoes. I love using shallots in my salad dressings. They are so delicious. Very similar to onions, but a little bit milder. Do you ever watch my videos and try and piece together which ones I shot on the same day? It's a fun puzzle. You have to watch the bowl of fruit and watch the gingham shirt and how long my hair is. One more bit of prep. We're gonna be popping a whole garlic clove into each of those tomatoes. Just trimming the bottom off of each of these garlic cloves, and then we're gonna give them a good smash and pop them in. A nice smash helps to take that skin off and also releases a lot of oils. Once it's smashed, just pop it in. And for this batch, you'll probably be using most of 2 heads of garlic, so be forewarned and buy ahead. If you have a giant clove of garlic, you can split it up into 2 so it's more manageable, especially if your tomatoes are on the smaller side. Can anyone tell me why garlic juice is so sticky? I know why it's stinky, but why is it so sticky? It drives me crazy. Okay, it looks like all of my tomatoes are covered. Nice. We've set the scene for some serious magic. So let's sprinkle this with 3 tablespoons-ish of olive oil. Just make sure everything is getting at least a sprinkle, especially those garlics. So I'm using a heavy Mediterranean tablespoon with my olive oil. I feel like every single recipe lies about how much oil and butter to use, just by the by. Now we're gonna sprinkle this with about 2 tablespoons of a balsamic or red wine vinegar. This is a nice aged balsamic, so it's gonna be a much more controlled sprinkle. So beautiful. Now it's time for about 3/4 of a teaspoon of salt. Make sure it's evenly distributed. I'm using about 2 teaspoons of herbe de Provence, but you can really use any herb mixture that you enjoy. It's raining herbs. Add some pepper as much as you'd like. And we're finishing this off with some freshly chopped fresh thyme, one of my favorite herbs. All of this will take these tomatoes from bland to blam. These will go into the oven at 375 for about 50 minutes. This is actually amazing as a side dish. It could be like a perfect buffet item. If you wanted to freeze it, pop it into a very heavy-duty resealable bag, squeeze the air out. It's good for like a few months, maybe up to 6. If you want to put it in the fridge, same deal, good for a week. Really nice to pop onto pizzas, top your pastas with them, or you can just blend it up into a pasta sauce. This can be served in a beautiful tray. If you're doing that, add some little fresh basil. It'll give you some visual interest, and basil and tomato is just delicious. I'll be taste testing one for you. That is like candy, my gosh. That's really good. just make this. Make it now, make it often. You are gonna love it. Bookmark the recipe on preppykitchen.com. If you like this recipe, check out my shrimp scampi. You don't necessarily have to put these tomatoes on it, but it would be delicious. I'm just saying. If you love my videos, hit that like button, subscribe, and I'll see you soon.